Greetings and welcome back. It's so good to see you all again. When we left off last time, we came back from a place in the forest. The loggers' camp. And on the way back, we encountered one of these half-orc spell-casting beasts that dwell in these woods, the anchorites of Talos, as you will come to find out. And you saw one of them, thinking that it was just a boar, and you tried to hunt it for food. Your stomach grumbled, and you said, "Look, a delicious, tasty bacon treat." On the way back to Falcon's Lodge, and Myrin went to go and shoot an arrow at it, and it transformed into a humanoid form. Shot a lightning bolt at you, hitting the Paladin in his armor, and then escaping the party. You ended up back at Falcon's Lodge. You told him of the day's events. And you go to bed. So if you've not long rested your characters, you need to do that. The morning comes after a fitful sleep, and the party wakes up to bacon and eggs for breakfast. Corwin has everything on the table. As you are coming out of your rooms, you're sitting down, and what does that conversation go like?
I've not had a good night's rest. I normally can find some solace and put my mind at ease, but I just could not break what we saw, what escaped.
I agree with you, Myrin. I can't believe that creature. It was fast, and it was very powerful. It hit us with that lightning, and then it kept evading us the whole way through the forest.
This must be the tie that we were looking for when it comes to magic wielding creatures that have been plaguing this area. Furthermore, I would agree with you on the speed of these creatures. I was not expecting that.
I've never seen anything like it. Well, Willow, what? I'm sorry. You know me. I'm a dwarf. I always talk over people. What were you about to say?
Oh, don't worry. Oh, I said the exact same thing you did. Jinx.
There you go, lass. I'll salute you. What do you think? Should we hunt this creature?
It seems like hunting. But we're unable to match the capabilities of it.
Does anyone know anything about it?
Yes, I wonder if the lodge leader here.
The proprietor of this establishment.
Maybe he knows.
Nars, at this point, interjects to you that the party still has the cart and the brother of the townmaster of Phandalin, which is tying its interests as well. So you have some decisions to make. Do we hunt the orc or the half-orc, or do we fulfill our duties to
I feel like we're here.
The quest we're on.
We're here for a task. We should at least try to complete that, and then maybe we can speak further on these magical orbs.
I agree. We have to fulfill our obligations.
It's true.
Oh,
The
man.
hermit
we
isn't
we
quite-
must be in sync tonight.
I think so, Willow.
The hermit keeps anticipating
Yep.
her companion's response.
I'm reading lips.
You must be using that third eye I heard about. They talk about that. We learned about that in our religion classes. They call it the pineal gland. It's a third eye. You must have that wisdom, Willow, to foresee things.
I guess so. Or I'm just really socially awkward.
Just hermited.
You've proven so far. Live up to your name.
Takes a certain kind of
let me
I
tell
have a
zeal.
lot of fun though.
My fellow dwarves always thought I was socially awkward, because I tell them how it is, and they don't like it.
I've often found that elves have a difficult time fitting in.
I think I just say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Or the right thing at the right time.
Or the wrong thing at the right
This is
time.
possible.
In the wrong company.
This is all possible.
I feel that's how it is with me. I always put my foot in my mouth. Better to think before I speak, but it usually doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, like you say something and you're like, oh no, I just said that.
Falcon comes in and joins the conversation, laughing along with the party at what he knows nothing about.
Falcon, I was curious if we were going to see you again.
Yes, my friends. Are we going to hunt the orc spellcasters down today?
I think that we are encountering an issue here. We were on our way to aid in this delivery, and here we have discovered the logging camp in its state.
Of course. I did send word out to Neverwinter with a bird messenger, and they should be sending people to investigate the events that happened at the logging camp. So your obligation is done there.
Well, what of the delivery then?
I would advise you to either sell the delivery to me or return it to the store for use at Barthen's. But if you wish, I will pay you for the delivery, and I will keep the goods on the cart.
I think that if this wood, or if this supplies was intended for this area, delivering it to somebody nearby that can make use of it is a just plan.
Do you have a bill of sale?
We do. Do we not?
He takes the bill of sale from you as you offer it to him. He looks at it, signs his name, and hands it back.
We will return this to Barthen, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Barthen.
Yes.
I know him well.
We will.
But you will come back and investigate the goings-on of these orcish spellcasters.
Absolutely, we will.
Yes, please. And I would implore you to treat it with a degree of some urgency. As the taste of the closeness of that thing that you found, that at that distance away from my home, that leaves a bitter taste in my mouth.
I would probably turn to the party and maybe even try to kind kind of a huddle.
Yeah.
And Falcon sees what you're doing, and this gives you a disarming smile, and grabs some food and goes back up to his bedroom.
Great. It seems that as the job itself truly being done, other than just returning the signed document back to Barthen, we could take care of this orc situation now. If Falcon is this concerned, leaving him, essentially open for attack again, it seems wrong.
Well, I think we could leave and return Hob and Winston's brother, but let me tell you, we might come back to nothing. Maybe Falcon's place and lodge would be burnt down to the ground.
That's what my fear is too.
What do you think of that, Willow?
I think it does sound like an immediate issue, like that kind of takes top priority by the sounds of it.
I think the brother here, he can stay for a while in the lodge. He'll be all right.
And you remember that this is what the lodge is for, to take care of rich patronage.
Yeah. So, can we see Tiber? Is he around?
Tiber is asleep in the guest house.
Okay.
But if the party wants to arrange for to stay, he's fine staying there. I wouldn't worry about Tiber. He's just happy to be in the safest place. And
okay, yeah, I was just curious, like generally what his, if we saw any sense of urgency or.
He was pretty out of it, in shock when you found him. If he had been a little bit more with it, he could have told you that the attack had just happened that morning, and he'd been locked in his office ever since.
That would have been a little helpful.
He was, you know how it is when you're in shock.
Yeah, I could see it. And then so maybe even I probably would ask Nars if locally, if there had been any talk of this, like if these magical orcs have ever been referenced in Phandalin.
Yes, Nars is well aware of the stories that everybody's heard about these things. They seem to be overrunning the wood. In fact, at least the southern portion that you once called home. People are aware of them. I think somebody may have mentioned it to you when you were in Phandalin at one point.
Would we have heard
in
it
fact, I am quite sure
in the tavern?
Yeah, 100%. I don't remember if it was in the tavern, but I 100% remember telling you a tale in Phandalin.
I think it was a rumor we heard in the tavern.
Yeah.
I think it actually may have been in the tavern, actually.
Oh.
Sounds right.
Of course. Where else would it be?
Could have been in Barthen's. Couldn't have been in Barthen's because you were just there last session for the first time.
Yeah, that's right. No, I think that it was, and I think that it was, like you said, the Thardin. It was rumor that we had heard.
Isn't that really all we ever really hear in our day-to-day lives?
Hearsay.
Yeah.
It's all hearsay.
Well, I think it seems unanimous that we track this orc down.
Yes, Nars says, I think the smartest thing to do would be to go back to the place where we encountered it and try to pick up its trail.
Yes. Willow, is there anything that you possess that would aid us in maybe speaking to the forest or the creatures in the forest or something to maybe get more insight on where these creatures may hail?
Yeah, I bet, I bet I could wild shape into something. Maybe communicate with, the animals in the area.
It's a possible approach. I think it's worth exploring.
On a point of order there, I'm not sure about the rules on that. Does wild shaping allow you to talk to other animals of that species you shaped into?
That's a good question. Mechanically, I'm unsure, but
She may.
I mean, I would assume so. Like if I turn into a squirrel, then I can talk to squirrels.
Here's the thing. I would be really curious about. Generally, is like, do you when you wild shape, do you speak your tongue or do you speak the creature?
Well, Druid does communicate with nature and animals, so.
Yeah.
That's
I think
what
I
a
read
druid
somewhere
does.
that like you can't speak in your native tongue when
You can't
wild
use
shape.
yeah, you
into
can't speak common or anything with an animal's mouth. That's
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
Like so I was
Animals
just
don't
assuming
usually
that's, like,
use
I could communicate with other animals.
Animals don't really use a spoken language anyhow. It's all smells and body language with them. So I'm going to rule that you can communicate with the beasts of the woods as a beast, as a wild-shaped beast.
Furthermore,
Good.
maybe this investigation should happen at the loggers' camp. Or possibly just where we encountered this last orc, which was just south of Falcon's establishment. I believe south or southwest. Am I remembering this incorrectly?
I'm sorry, I lost audio. Quick sec, can you repeat that?
I believe it was this encounter that we had with the last orc that escaped. Was that south of Falcon's establishment, southwest?
Okay, sorry. Yes, you were coming back from the loggers' camp when this occurred, and it's not far from Falcon's front door. As a matter of fact, it's less than a mile.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like a stone's throw.
So what Nars had in mind when he made his suggestion was go back to that point and start the search, because Thardin actually did put some cairns up to mark the place.
Yes, and I did have Hunter's Mark on it, and we've discussed this a little bit, but like I just feel like Hunter's Mark would also give you some tracking sense. It's just a general sense, and there's nothing really mechanically that has that anywhere in the game.
At higher levels, I believe you can cast Hunter's Mark at like level 2 and increase the duration of it to 24 hours or something like that. But Hunter's Mark will have worn off since you cast it.
Yeah, even now. Yeah, because it's been over 24 hours, right?
It will have been worn off. But let us just fast forward and go to the place since it's right outside the door. Falcon,
I would have already.
Falcon comes down to see you off, and he says something to the effect about he knows where the manse is that these things are dwelling. It's not far from his place, and he's familiar with the territory.
Okay.
And he's just going to point to it on the map. It's this vague location, but
Okay.
basically, long story short, yes. So currently we're at the southern headwater of that river, thereabouts, and he points to a place just southwest of where we are right now on that map, and tells you that long ago there was a half-elven wizard who built that manse because she was very interested in some elven runes that are in sites various surrounding the area. So she lived there, and went out one day on an expedition to one of these sites and was never heard from again. And that's all he knows about it. The manse, over time, the protection spells that the wizard had cast on it wore off, and it fell into disrepair and eventually ruin. So you're going to a nice mansion in the forested wood that has now been ruined and overgrown, like Grey Gardens, if you will.
Falcon has been there before.
He hasn't been to the location in many years, but up until recently, it was just an abandoned ruin.
Gotcha.
As he bids the party farewell, they walk out down the path away from the river to the west, find the spot where they encountered the beast with the cairns that were left behind. And you don't even need to roll a skills check. You can see a clear trail that the beast left. It looks like you're tracking a hog. You can find the hog's trail where you lost sight of it.
Obviously, I would lead the way in this tracking initiative. As we start to encounter these tracks, is it very evident? Are the tracks well placed?
Well placed in what way?
Well visible.
Yes.
Like we're seeing visible tracks,
like
either with
no
mud
attempt
or
was
with...
made to hide. There's leaves on the ground, so you can see the leaves crumpled up in where the hooves would have been. And
we did some damage to this creature. Was there any blood tracing?
You found a couple droplets of blood where you thought you struck it with the arrow.
I would just be honing in on that, and I'd probably very focused on the path in which it's moving. So, like I said, I'd be probably leading the way for this.
Nars, this is not my forte.
Nars would be checking his pocket watch over and over again, putting it back in his coat pocket. And what is the young druid cleric up to? She's feeling like, I have to tell you, Willow, I know that you're feeling very religious this morning. It's like Sunday morning in church time, and you're in the forest, which is your church.
Yeah, that's fair. Probably not honestly paying much attention to the rest of the party. It's like spinning in circles under the trees. Just a joy to be outside.
We're probably seeing like a glow, some sort of like happy glow coming from Willow that we hadn't seen prior.
She's meditating, y'all.
Dance meditation, yes.
She's enjoying it.
So, you see this blue-skinned little drow turning cartwheels and circles amongst the beautiful autumn leaves that are blanketing the forest floor. You still have a canopy overhead. It's a fall paradise, and little leaves are falling around her.
That sounds so nice.
Shafts of sunlight break through once in a while, making her wince, but for the most part, she's under shady cover.
I have my hood up too.
Oh yeah. Of course she has her Grim Reaper attire. And Myrin...
I can pull it down when the sun is down.
Do you notice the other party members at all, or you're just in your own little world?
I'm just kind of in my own world right now.
Okay.
But they could definitely interrupt me if they need
They
something.
could ask you for help if they wanted a druid's opinion, you mean?
Well,
Yep.
prior we did discuss her speaking to the creatures of the forest. Possibly while I'm tracking, you could engage in this.
Yeah, that sounds great. Are you doing that now?
I am, yeah. So like as
He's got the trail. He's on the
seeing,
trail. He's looking at you, looking back at the trail, looking at you.
Yeah, and you're seeing, you know, Myrin. He has his the dagger out, but he doesn't really need tools. You know, it's his hands. He needs tactile feel. So often he's like putting his hand down on the tracks and touching it, smelling it. Yeah, so that's what you're seeing from Myrin.
And you see a dwarf standing there scratching his head.
And yes, and Thardin is scanning the woods to keep an eye out while Myrin is looking over the tracks, and while Willow's gazing in the forest and enjoying it. So he's being vigilant. He's prepared for anything that comes out of the woods.
Cool. I think I'll go ahead and wild shape into a little squirrel, and I'll just I'll join Myrin in his tracking.
You want to take the shape of a squirrel?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Probably a little fox squirrel.
A little fox squirrel, a little red fox squirrel with white ears. That's what I'm seeing.
Loving it.
Okay, good deal. So you want to follow the trail that the beast has left behind the very night before. See where it goes?
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye out for other squirrels along the way.
The party sets out and follows the trail. It leads you south away from the river. And you follow it for several hours. It snakes around to the east, and you follow it for half a day.
Did I speak to any squirrels during this time?
The woods are deathly silent in this place. It's eerily so. And as the morning goes by, it becomes foggy, so visibility is low, and you did not see any other squirrels. If there were any, they had probably retreated into their burrows.
So there was no wildlife at all?
Just the normal things that are happening in fall, like, you know, birds are flitting around in the trees and everything, but you don't see any game type animals. Like they've fled.
Okay.
You said it was eerily quiet.
And a fog.
Are we hearing
rolls
our
in.
crunching of the leaves as we're walking through?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But the forest seems still, even to Myrin, who calls these parts home. And you come to a foggy clearing, in the midst of which stands a crumbling 2-story manse, all but hidden beneath thorny ivy. The large house is set atop a 6-foot-high stone foundation, and the main entrance has a balcony above it. Pumpkins grow you see pumpkins in their patches, pumpkin patches all around this border of this manse. And you notice that several wild boars are there feeding from these pumpkin patches. But they don't regard you. You see them.
They don't care.
Coming close. Yeah, they're sort of disregarding you guys.
Yeah.
They seem like normal boars.
Do they? Is it the same shape of boar that we had saw prior?
Yes.
What had seen transform?
It's your typical woodland dwelling boar.
Yeah.
Shh! Hey, let's be quiet when we go in there. Or maybe you should scout around a little, Myrin, or we could send Willow as the squirrel to look around.
Yeah, either way.
That would be an excellent idea, says Nars.
I think that the combination of the two, we could really gather some valuable intel and bring this back to our other party members and then decide after.
Well, then
Sounds good to me.
Nars and I'll wait back here.
So possibly we should just go on a quick scouting mission, possibly in this clearing. It's a clearing.
You can
so
stay to a tree line and still be pretty close to scout it out.
I'm going to stay in the tree line. However, Willow, you may be able to get in closer.
Yeah, I could either do a squirrel or I could do like a small bird, like maybe a robin or something.
A squirrel.
I
A
could get
squirrel.
kind of a literal bird's eye view.
Well, squirrels can go up and down trees, remember, and you only get that twice a day, that ability, I believe.
Yes, that is limited to an hour, and it's already been. It had already worn off, so you will have to wild shape again if you're trying to use wild shape. That you will have used one of your wild shapes, and so now if you want to do that, you'll wild shape again. We'll say that you are in normal humanoid form, and you can use your second wild shape to do this. And I will go ahead and tell you that if you went in like something like a squirrel or a bird, that nobody would notice. It would seem like normal forest activity, and you could walk around as a squirrel or a bird with impunity in this place.
Yes.
Unless
So-
some hungry monster wanted a quick meal and was able to snatch you.
Ooh.
And at that rate, I'll just watch her back with my bow.
So
I
think this is a great plan,
Nars. For a
Narcissus.
small bird, then.
The
Or even a
Druid.
big bird. Maybe
Well,
like a
here-
raven
this-
or a crow.
And I will say that choosing a flying creature that we had seen prior, like other birds and animals in the air, that was something that we had seen, and it wouldn't be out of place. However, if we saw the absence of woodland creatures, and
But there were birds.
all of a sudden there was a squirrel there, then that would be out of place.
I'll tell you what would go unnoticed. Because I think
go
it's a really cool idea, and I will just
Yeah.
let you walk with impunity as a wild-shaped, non-threatening beast.
There you go.
All right.
And as this happens, I think that I would pull my bow out and just kind of like suit up to start making my way around this clearing.
Roll
And,
stealth.
Would you like?
Stealth check. And as you do that, you see the little blue-skinned drow have a glimmer of light surrounds her, and she shrinks down to the size of a cute, tiny blackbird.
Out of 14 for stealth.
Now, let's say you choose the form of your little bird self. What do you morph into?
I think a blackbird is appropriate.
Okay.
Small blackbird.
A little baby crow or a raven.
Aww.
Let's say a little baby raven. And she hops around. She can't talk to you anymore, so she hops around and waits for you. So roll your stealth. What did you get?
Oh, it was a 14.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool by me. You can sneak through the tree line without being seen.
Okay.
Do I need to roll anything?
You don't.
Okay.
And actually, this is my favorite terrain. FY.
So you would have had advantage on that. So I already
Yeah.
gave it to you.
Yeah.
You would have had advantage on that roll.
Okay.
But I was gonna give it to you.
You were gonna give it to me anyway, so not that yet. I would imagine
just
that I
rolled
wouldn't have
horribly.
a problem with staying stealthy in a woodland area. You know,
It's your homeland too.
yeah, that exactly. And it's some filthy orcs. So, come on.
You actually don't see any orcs. You see boars in the pumpkin
We're
patches
very much
outside.
suspecting orcs here. If I were a Betten elf, then I would say that there are orcs here.
Willow could have went in as a boar as well.
That might have gotten
how
ugly.
far away-
Rub shoulders.
Yeah.
There's that.
How far away are Nars and I from this place?
about 50 feet. There's a little path coming from the west that you were following. And the tree line, it's about 45, 65 feet out as it goes around. So you've come from the west, so you'll just be down the path a little ways in the brush.
So we need to try to keep cover in case one of them returns home or what?
That's one of the things that I'm looking out for as I'm just taking this like circle pattern north.
Yep.
Then Willow, you're hopping around on the ground and you can see this giant 2-story house made out of stone and overgrown with ivy. There's thorny ivy encapsulating this whole thing. But some of the windows are shuttered open. Some of them are shuttered closed. None of them have glass. So what do you do?
You said there's a bunch of boars out around it. Are they like all grouped together, or do they look like they're messing with something?
You can't see that from here.
Okay.
If you flew around a little bit, you could.
I'm sorry?
If you flew around a little bit, you could.
Okay.
Oh, shit. My bad, guys. I just remembered that she's limited to anything without a fly speed is what she can morph into.
Oh, right. She's not.
Oh,
she's hit the
You
level
can't
yet.
have the fly speed yet, and where you're at is a druid. So we'll have to choose a squirrel or something else.
This is true.
Yeah, that's okay.
The squirrel worked.
The squirrel's gonna work just fine. You're a little squirrel. You're a cute little bushy tailed squirrel, and you're bound out of the forest like you're hunting for food. And you come closer to the pumpkin patches.
Yeah, I think so.
You see a boar. Looks like there's a boar per patch. And from where you are, you can see 1, 2, 3 patches in front and one on the side that you're on. You can see. You can't see around the other corner.
Does what are the boars doing in there? Are they just like eating
They're grazing.
the pumpkins?
Yes, they're eating.
Okay. Okay, cool. Then I'll just dog past them and I'm gonna head towards the house.
Okay. Get to the house.
You said there aren't any windows, no glass in them?
There are windows, but no glass.
Okay.
Some of them are shuttered closed. Some of them are shuttered open. You see in front on the northwestern corner a large staircase leading up to a porch with a balcony over it on the second story with 2 double doors. And you don't seem to see a way in, but you could always climb.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and climb.
Where do you climb?
I'm gonna climb up to the second floor and see if there's an access point from up there somewhere.
So your party members are watching a little squirrel as it sneaks up the side of this rock ledge, climbing on the thorny ivy, and you climb up the northern corner of the house to the second story balcony, where you see 2 more double doors, but no windows in sight from here. Actually, yeah, you can see one window on the side of the wall that you can see from here curves around to the north instead of like a corner, like a sharp corner.
So there is a window. Does it look like I might be able to climb inside it, or inside it?
Yes, you can see that it's actually open. One of the shutters is open, and there is enough room through the ivy for you to scramble through.
Alrighty, I'll kind of slowly take a peek inside and see if I can.
What you see through the window, from what you can see, it looks to be a bathroom with a conical roof. You can see from where you've crawled out onto it that it's like a cylindrical shaped feature to this house. So it's basically a turret on the side of the house. tower, sort of, if you will. And so you're inside this bathroom, and of course it has a great cast iron tub with clawed feet standing in the middle of the room. And next to the tub is a rusty iron water pump that you see looks like it still works, and you can see a little bit of steam rising from it. And there's one doorway to the south, opposite the way you came in.
I think I'll sneak inside and I'll explore a little more.
Well, you're inside. You're inside already. You're gonna stay as the shape of a squirrel?
For the moment, yeah. I'll slowly.
So the door is closed. The door is
door?
closed. So you would have to open it as a squirrel.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't be able to leave this room.
No. There's no way to squeeze under the door?
Roll me a dex check. Roll me a dex check for a squirrel.
19?
Squirrel manages to find a weak knot in the wood and pushes her way through.
All right, what do I see?
That brings you out
what do I see on the
into
other side?
that brings you out into an L-shaped hallway. You're upstairs, so it's like an upstairs hallway. You can see the stairs coming up, and you can see a doorway to your south, and you can see the major long part of the L on this hallway extends out to the east. And you can see that there's a window and a double doorway at the end of that. You can also see windows all along that side of the hallway, as if there's an inner courtyard to the house.
I'd like to go take a peek at that.
So the squirrel scampers to the window and climbs up onto some shitty vining wherever she can get a hold of, and looks through the window, looks down into a courtyard. She can see a tree growing out of a well. Stone steps from other points in the house. It looks like a flag-stoned courtyard that has a pillared arcade to the east. Several windows on the upper deck, one of which you're looking through, look down on it.
Okay.
And in the middle of this courtyard, there's a big 5-foot stone well with thick vines erupting from it.
All right. Do I hear anything near me? Do I see anything like...
You see no movement in this room.
All right. I think I'm going to go downstairs and see if I can make it down to that courtyard.
The squirrel heads down the stairs. Coming into the hallway below in this manse, you see double doors that lead to the west, and you sort of recognize them as those were the front doors that you bypassed by climbing up. And it's an undecorated hall. The stairs are really creaky and weird, and they didn't feel very safe when you were on them as a squirrel.
Oh, I can't imagine what they would have felt like as a drow. All right. Anything downstairs? Are there any other hallways that I could just kind of walk up and down and listen for
Good,
movement?
if you wanted to. You can
I would like to
explore
do
this
that.
whole thing as a squirrel and get killed if you want to.
Oh God.
Squirrel wouldn't last 2 seconds in this house, sweetheart.
I'm just listening around.
You're nothing.
Well, okay, if I'm at the foot of the stairs, is the courtyard in front of me or an access point to the courtyard?
You don't see one from where you are. You see the front door and you see the stairs you came down in. You see a doorway, an open doorway to your north, which you recognize to be the room that would have been the roundish room that would have been underneath the one that you initially came in. You see kind of the same windows there. You can see that actually through this hallway door. And you see one of them is completely open, and the pumpkin patches beyond to the north. You can see 2 of them out this window. There's a boar in each one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Think,
The party.
I'm sorry?
Would you like to return to your party and share what you've seen?
Yeah.
It is done.
Is there an exit
Squirrel skips
downstairs
out.
or?
There's the doors, and you see the window that I just described to you, and the squirrel just scampers through this roundish room that is an empty parlor. It's got a like a roundish rug that covers most of it, and there's a bunch of smashed furniture, and she darts out through the window and lands between 2 pumpkin patches that are bordering the north side of this house. From there, she spies Myrin. No, she doesn't. He's stealthed up. But she knows his general vicinity because they discussed it, and she scampers back off into the wood unnoticed. You see her return, and what do you do? What would you have done when she left your sight? You wouldn't have just sat there and waited. You would have circled the perimeter like any good ranger would. And what you found was more house. You saw a couple of hearths on the northeast. You saw that there were 2 pumpkin patches bordering sort of the north, the ones that she came out into, and then you further took the tree line around and you saw 4 more pumpkin patches lining the eastern end of this thing, which is just huge and just a massive rock wall covered in thorns. Nothing really you could tell. It's just like a 2-story mass of viney thorn. You counted 9 pumpkin patches and 9 boars grazing in each one, and they did not detect you. They're just going after the vines and the pumpkin. There's a pumpkin cracked open here and there.
And while Thardin and Nars are waiting, did we see any movement, like orcs returning or anything like that?
Nars has detected magic, and he sees the pumpkins are glowing with a faint aura.
That is strange.
That's what one of the first things he always does is cast detect magic.
Right.
Have I returned to the party?
Yes, you have come back to Myrin as he's making the loop around. You put up on his shoulder, and he moves with you back to where Thardin and Nars are, and you involve.
All right. I'll resume my Drow form now that I'm with everybody again, and I'll let them know what I saw.
The glimmer, the blue glimmer, comes back to the squirrel's body as it sits on Myrin's shoulder, and all of a sudden, Myrin has a small drow sitting on his shoulder. Sitting on his shoulder.
Hello, devil on your shoulder.
What did you see inside?
There was a courtyard in the center of the house, some sort of courtyard, and there was a well.
Yeah.
And it looked like there were vines growing out of it. I had kind of a hard time seeing it from where I was, and I tried to go downstairs to get a better visual and couldn't really find an entrance, and the house kind of gave me the creeps. And
What she's explaining to you, the way it sounds when she's explaining to you, makes it sound like a large. Do you know in your garden sometimes there'll be these weeds that grow, and if you don't ever cut them down, soon there'll be trees. Have you ever seen these things?
Right. Yeah.
That's what.
Oh, those are so cool.
It looks like one of these things is like gnarly and growing out of this well that she has seen. It's got all these different shoots that come off of it.
But you didn't see any orcs.
Nope, I didn't. I didn't completely search the house.
Yes, well,
Something
safety in
didn't
numbers.
feel right.
Something don't feel
It's
like.
at the party. Nars pipes in. He says, those pumpkins are enchanted. I really must take some samples of them home with us. My guess would be need to go up to them and get a look. And with that, Nars strides out of the forest and casually walks up to the nearest pumpkin patch and picks one up off the ground and begins to examine it. Yes, he strides out in the open as if he was not concerned at all with tactics.
Ah! What is he doing?
I knew a guy like this in college.
I mean, he just broke all the stealth tactics that we were using.
Yeah, you see the boar that's in the patch where Nars is standing snorts with contempt at him as he's taking one of these pumpkins. And it just goes back to its grazing. And he brings the pumpkin back to you and cuts it open with his dagger. And inside, he sees that the detect magic is actually making the seeds grow. That the pumpkin no longer has this magical aura. It's just regular pumpkin on the ground, but the seeds have this magical aura to it.
So when he cut it from the vine, it stopped growing magical? I mean, stopped glowing magic?
Just assume he cut one pumpkin off by the vine, and now that it is not glowing itself and just the seeds are, maybe that one could say that the vines are connected or the source of the magic.
It looks like the seeds.
Nars
Looks like the seeds are still magic, though.
Nars has deduced, with a very skillful Arcana check, that the seeds were the magical ingredient to the pumpkins all along. The pumpkins never really had any of the magic other than their seeds, other than they're a fruit that's growing a magical seed. Like the pumpkin itself isn't.
Does what? Yes, Nars. I would say that to Nars.
Nars believes that if one were to eat a serving of these seeds, it might restore some health.
Maybe we should harvest some more. And I believe that Nars, he had some like empty vials that he was looking to fill.
He definitely took a sample of the pumpkin itself and a vial full of the seeds, and he has enough left for you to each have some, a serving.
Rad.
Like a vial's worth, or just a serving's worth?
A serving is a handful of pumpkin seeds. He tosses them to you.
I gotcha. Well, I would just put it in one of my pouches in my leather.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nars, but I don't know. I'm not too fond of orcs, so I can't tell you I'd eat those seeds.
Well, I have plenty of them. If some of us eat them and feel better, maybe you will take them. I have plenty of servings here in my bag.
Thardin, at this point, I don't know that orcs are even what is causing this growth. I mean, we have no evidence at this point.
No, but we do know his footprints came back this way.
Yes, but so can I see where, as far as those footprints go, I'm probably still very keen on the blood or steps.
You've lost the trail. There's been many other trails that lead up to this place, and it's all
up
just
to this.
kind of, yeah.
Okay, so
You're not on the trail of the single beast anymore. You've lost the trail in with many trails that come and go.
No,
from
I
this
understand that, but I'm just saying, was there a point when it became where I started to see like multiple creature tracks, and that's when I started to lose it?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
There's a path. There's a path that you found. It's a short distance away from here.
That goes to this place.
So it converged on a path of many other kinds of tracks and indistinguishable.
I was just making sure that it wasn't just like an untraveled path. Okay, got it.
No, there's traffic that comes in and out of here.
Okay.
There is traffic. Okay.
All right.
So, do you guys want to go take a peek inside that house? I'm kind of curious about the courtyard in it.
The Drow motions over to the doorway that you can see. It's got these stone steps that climb to a portico with a stone balcony overhanging it at a height of 10 feet. And it's, of course, like everything else on the exterior, as wrapped with vines around the balcony support pillars and its crumbling ceiling. The ground floor entrance features a double door with giant boar's head crudely carved into it. An unmarred double door stands closed on the balcony.
Shall we?
Let's go look. I don't see why not.
Woo-hoo!
I mean, Willow, you saw nothing of danger in your scouting.
Nothing that I saw, but I didn't scout the entire house, so
She told you what
definitely wanna
rooms
be
she went
careful
in.
and just kind of keep our wits about us as we go through it.
She told you about the corner of the top floor that she'd seen, and she described the courtyard as best she could, and you really didn't get a layout of this place, just a couple of rooms, and that it looks like shit inside.
Well, what do you think the best way to go in? Is one of those boarded up windows?
Possibly. There isn't any glass in the windows. It's like it's been blown out or something.
What time of day is it?
It is just past the noon high hour.
Okay, and weather?
Weather is overcast and foggy around the forest floor.
All right.
What do you all think? Should we go now or should we wait for the cover of dark?
So far,
Go ahead and go now.
nothing is indicating that we need to take cover of darkness. So let's just say we move in slowly. Each step we take just needs to be a thought out one.
Absolutely.
So maybe we just all start to walk down the pathway towards the doors. And I guess the front, right? We're just there were the two doors up front that were just shut, right?
Right.
Let's go give it a try, I guess.
I bet we could knock them open.
They're unlocked.
Well, I guess we won't have to knock them open.
We would try that first.
Okay,
We don't approach everything with excessive force? What?
We do not.
As you,
I was just
the doors.
I was just pat on his shoulder.
The doors you've seen from the ground, that both sets of the doors here are unmarred with the ivy that grows over everything else. It's like it's been cleared away here so that you get through. And what you walk into and see is a downstairs hallway. Just an undecorated, featureless, creaky, moldy staircase where she saw that staircase. You see an open doorway further on down the hall, and you see the room to the north that she had described, where she got out.
Okay. Well, maybe Willow, maybe you should, usually I kind of take the lead, but maybe you should direct us which way to go to this courtyard.
Yeah. Does anyone need any light? Or is Nars the only one we have to worry about as far as
there is some natural light coming into the place through some of the windows.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's such a like a gloomy day. It's almost like the light refracts in such a dim, pale glow. Anyways, we're probably seeing that even when with doors, or I imagine that there's windows boarded up. Was that correct?
No, they're overgrown with ivy, and most of them. Some of them are not. Some of them are sort of ajar and open. They all have shutters, but if they're shuttered closed, you wouldn't be able to open the shutters because of the ivy.
Okay.
There's ivy covering most of them, but they're like you could tear your way through with an abilities check.
So there's probably some light shining.
There's light coming in. There's daylight coming into the house.
Okay.
Okay. So let's not try to add any additional light or make ourselves too present. So I would like us to move in stealth or in somewhat of a silent way.
Well,
whether that requires
quiet fashion
roll or not.
You have a disadvantage on stealth checks in the party. You realize that, right?
For
Thardin.
For Thardin.
For Thardin. Yeah, that's right. We still need to. Whether we have disadvantage or not, we still need to.
Okay. Everybody can try to roll stealth checks.
Try. Jeez. I don't have disadvantage.
You don't have disadvantage.
There's no way. There's just no way. Well, did everybody else roll?
14.
Thardin rolled a 3.
No, of course.
His armor's claiming.
Yeah, Myrin, of course, when Myrin rolls a nat 20 with a plus 6, nat 20 plus a 26, I'm just like, seriously, like.
Tell you what, Myrin. Why don't you go into the next room and be real stealthy about it?
Thardin's shield hits up against.
There's an open doorway to your There's an open doorway to your east that you can plainly see through, and you can see that it is empty in there. And the room, you can see that Willow already told you was a smashed parlor-looking room. But that seems to be your only other option other than these stairs.
I told you all to be stealthily.
I just give a glare at Thardin. A very deep glare.
I'm just trying not to laugh.
Do I see the courtyard that Willow detailed earlier?
No, you cannot. Actually, yes, you can see it. You can see it through a high window. That's
Yeah.
You can know by looking through this window, you can see this viney, gnarled mass that she described and know that you're looking through the courtyard directly to your north, but there's no way through. You can see a tiny window up top.
Got it. I guess, what what's the lay here? What do we see? Like, where are we at?
Yeah. You are in sort of, you've just come through the front doors of this place, and you are in a hallway, like a foyer type hallway where the stairs are to go to the second story. And you can see this high window on your right through the south, and you can see ahead of you through an open archway. There's no door here. It's like an archway to another room. What looks beyond looks like it would have been a dining room, because you can see the smashed dining room table laying in the eastern half of the room opposite you.
Yeah.
Surrounded by 6 broken chairs. You can see that from where you are. And you can't see much else because you need to go through the doorway first.
Yeah. I'm just gonna peek through the doorway, put my head through, and not really actually move in.
So Myrin peeks his head into this room, and what he sees are crude drawings on the wall in blood that depict boars chasing stick figure humanoids. And then you can see there's a fireplace on the south side of the room, and that table and chairs that I mentioned before. And you can see a doorway to the south, right beyond the fireplace, and a doorway to the north.
I guess I'll gesture to everybody, especially Nars.
Wait a second, Myrin. Before you make a decision, I hadn't finished. My bad.
I'm sorry.
I hadn't finished with the description. On the hearth of this fireplace, you can see 4 twig figurines on the mantelpiece. One of them is wrapped in a piece of black cloth. One of them is wrapped in a piece of greenish cloth with like a little twig bow. You can tell it's twisted to be a bow. One of them is adorned in scrap metal and has like some red hair attached to it. And one of them is wrapped in a little piece of leather. And it has a mustache.
I definitely gesture to Nars to come over here.
Nars comes and peeks his head through and says...
And...
he just looks down at the floor and shakes his head. Nervously checks his pocket watch.
Yeah. I mean, would Nars do anything at this time? I kind of feel like he would.
Nars walks into the room and takes a real close look at these figures, and one of them tries to grab for him, and everybody roll initiative.
One of the figures tries to grab?
One of the on the wall?
Yes. The totem that was fashioned after the one with the mustache, we'll say, is the one that reached out and tried to grab at him.
Oh my, that's not great.
So is this for initiative?
Yes.
Yeah.
13.
Okay.
Hang on before you give me those initiative scores. I gotta change the tracks.
Yes, you do. It's time to roll, baby. I need some rolling tunes.
And let me grab my encounter. All right, let's hear your initiatives, please.
Myrin had 13.
18.
Thardin had a 12.
Let me grab Nars' character sheet really fast. Nars rolled a 5.
Nars rolled.
Heavens.
And the 4 little U's rolled a 20, so they will go first. Actually, before we get started, Willow, roll initiative.
I did.
I'm sorry,
I
not
rolled
initiative, not initiative. Roll nature.
Okay. 16 plus 4, so unnatural 20.
Okay. You notice that these little beasts are commonly referred to as twig blights.
Are they the same ones that we found in
I would be thinking
They
They
that.
were
some
meant
other
to. They were
dolls?
meant to look like that, but they are in actuality they are twig blights, and they are here. They are here to send you a message, and that's exactly what they do. One of them tries to use his claws to hit Nars, and it hits. Actually, you know what? Let's save some time. Roll for all of them. Okay, 2 of them hit him. For... what does it give me? 6 piercing. Isn't it funny that he's the very last one to react, too, to this?
Right. He's gonna get slammed, and then they have to wait to the end to do anything about it.
Willow, what do you do?
I would like to cast. I'm sorry, my computer's freaking out.
Oh, no.
I would like to cast Ice Knife as a first level spell.
Okay. At one of them that hit your friend?
Yep,
Yes.
whichever one.
Roll
I'm
for
sorry?
attack. We still have her?
Yes, I believe.
Shooting star.
Oh, okay. Roll for attack.
All right.
For that ice knife. Let's see that ice knife.
Are we all in sight of these things? Like we're all visible. Like we can see these things.
I
Line of sight.
just, they're in the other room. The 3 of you were in the other room, and I am gonna put you on the other side of the doorway. He's walked over. It's, it's 7 or 8 feet from the door,
Okay.
so anybody's movement can get them into melee range. So
Okay.
you guys are on the other side of the doorway. Do you have a roll for that attack, Willow?
Yes, I'm sorry. 13 plus 4.
If that hits, roll for damage.
Oh, a 9. And on a hit, the target takes 1d10 piercing damage. Hit or miss, the shard then explodes. The target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2 d6 cold damage.
Okay, what do they have to beat for that dex?
12.
All 3 of them failed. Wait a second. Wait, what's their modifier? 2 of them failed.
Okay. 2d6.
Roll damage for another 2.
10.
10 for each.
Yep.
The ice knife obliterates another 2 of them. There's one left.
Wow.
Wow.
Myrin, you're up.
So there's one of them left.
Yes.
Oh my, yeah. I had my daggers, ready to draw. I'd pull both of them out, but think about this for a second. Yeah, I guess I'll just use 2-weapon fighting with the bonus action to just do 2 kind of like devastating crushes. I want to like break these things. That's what the goal is with these. Usually I'm just like slashing or whatever.
So you're gonna run in the room and try to carve them up with your knives?
Yeah, I should. Yeah, with plenty of movement.
The elf,
7-8 feet in front of me.
The elf bursts through the doorway to the west with his daggers out and roll for those attacks.
Oh, lost that one. This dice tower is violent. So 1 is a sure hit at 25.
Definitely that hits.
The second one is a possible with a 10.
Oh, that was a miss.
Okay, so I'll give you that was the primary hand that had that
Of course.
attack. So that would have been the one with mod. So that would be a 7 damage.
Total damage?
Yes, total damage.
You cut the thing in half and it's dead.
Nice.
And you can see there's a doorway to your south.
There's no other threats to be seen. This is correct?
Not in this room.
Not in this room. Threats to be seen.
We searched the room.
You just find a bunch of smashed kitchen shit.
Well, it's there's the markings on the wall, right?
Yes.
So I would probably at some point I would have asked Nars if these are magical in any way. If he would know that.
He would tell you that they're very primitive script, not like he's ever seen before or studied.
Okay.
They're definitely his detect magic spell is actually about to wear off, and he's not seeing them glow. He's just saying it looks like very rudimentary art.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying. If generally he thought this was done with, if there was some magical sense behind it.
Well, I've
Weren't
got
the dolls supposed to carry a message?
No, they were supposed to be the message.
Okay.
They were sending the message.
they supposed to, I think the message was they were supposed to look like us. But let me tell you, The doll that looked like me, he didn't look like me at all. He was too thin. I'm a little more muscular with my beer belly. And
Yeah, my boobs are way bigger than that.
absolutely, Willow. And the one that was supposed to look like you, Willow, didn't look pretty enough. And the one that looked like Myrin, he looked too bulky. And the one that looked like Nars had a big mustache.
You flatter me.
The mustache was too big. But let me tell you something. It's got to be some kind of sick individual to do something like this. And with that,
I detect evil
There you go.
to see what my divine sense picks up.
You detect evil.
Yes, divine sense.
You don't feel any particular evil here.
Okay. How long does that stay up for? Okay. All right. Well, then I guess we should move on to the next room.
To the north or the south?
We're trying to move in some way to gain access to this courtyard. I
You
believe,
know the
right?
courtyard is on the south.
Yeah.
On the
South.
sorry, you cut out.
The south, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna.
You'll
Yeah,
go
I
through
think
the
we'll-
southern doorway.
Yeah, we're gonna. Willow is directing us towards the courtyard, so that's
Mhm.
where we're heading.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm headed.
You do.
Not sure if the divine sense continues on for.
I'll take it under consideration. You step through this doorway into this colonnaded arcade portion of the courtyard that Willow saw. So you come down
And
this.
it's kind of open, right? You said.
It's open. There's columns that are
Yeah.
holding up a roof over your first story, where the first story roof would be. But as the party, like, if you were to wander out from under that towards the well, you would see that there was a balcony to this courtyard, and the actual courtyard extends up to hit both stories. So you came down, you came into it under like a colonnaded arcade. And you see this well that she had described to you, and its viney tendrils are growing out of it.
Can I roll like a nature to try to identify what the vines are?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. 16.
It is a Gulthias tree.
I'm familiar with this plant. The Gulthias is one that is invasive. If I were to deduce,
is it natural to this area?
I don't believe so.
That's very strange. Why
I
would
would like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Why would it be growing in this house?
And then, for some DM knowledge, I might know more.
You would know, particularly, you would have seen these twig blight creatures before. They're pretty common. They look like
Okay.
plants. They're little monsters that look like plants, and they can put their roots down and act as plants, but they can also walk around and hit you. And they're like little minion type of soldiers.
So we
and
would
you
almost
would
expect
you would
to-
know that their type of wood is associated with like
The plant.
They come from this Gulthias wood.
Plants, yeah.
Yeah. you would see the similarity of wood between this thing and those blight characters.
Yeah,
as if,
I would
as
almost
if it spawned them.
Tap and then like point back at the area in which we fought those little creatures earlier.
So yeah, you guys are you're in this courtyard here. You see another doorway to your south under the colonnade where you came in, across from that. Mm-hmm. And you see another doorway on that southern, two more doorways on that southern wall.
When I was looking at
one of them's totally open and smashed, and one of them's the two are closed. The most interior one is open. I'm sorry, what were you asking?
When I was checking the plants, did I see anything down the well?
Did you look down the well? As far as I know, you guys are still just entered, and I'm just telling you what you can see. Are you guys walking around in this courtyard checking stuff out?
Yeah, and I mean, I would say if I were just kind of evaluating what the party feel, I would imagine that we're kind of like almost like wandering aimlessly. And once we approach the courtyard and everybody's kind of looking at different things, you know, just like up and down and out and around, you know. But like maybe I'm the one that's like focusing in the center, and maybe Willow too, because Willow had identified all this stuff. She's probably interested, I'd imagine.
What do you think, Willow? Are you interested in this Gulthias tree that Myrin's identified?
I very much am. That and the well. I was actually wanting to cast Detect Evil and Good.
Sorry, hold up.
Say that for me one more time.
I would like to cast Detect Evil and Good.
Can you read that for me?
For the duration, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located.
Yes.
Similarly, you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
You don't detect any of those creatures that are evil or good, but you do detect the magic emanating from this tree.
All right.
As per that spell would show you that there was some magic there.
Well, all right. There's definitely magic in the tree, but
chaotic aligned.
I'm sorry?
That magic is chaotic aligned.
Chaotic aligned.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Chaotic, evil or good? Just we don't know.
I think it was neutral. It seemed pretty neutral.
I'm really not sure whether that magic's evil or good. To let you know that it's natural magic. So.
Well, Willow's alignment is technically chaotic neutral, which would make sense.
That's why I mentioned it.
Nature-based.
That's why I mentioned you recognize the chaotic nature of this magic.
I mean, so are we expecting more of the same magic to be strewn about, or and where's the source of this?
The source of the magic?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this to the party.
It seems to be coming from the tree, I think.
How far down does the tree go into that well? Can we see?
You cannot see. It's completely gnarled. You can't see down there. It just looks like covered in vines.
Okay.
I would imagine that who has dancing light?
Nars and Willow have dancing lights. Nars is insanely interested in the tree, by the way. He's looking at it very closely. He is. When you said it was magic, his eyes perked up, his ears perked up, his eyes.
Yeah. So he's like maybe even thinking of another sample.
He looks like he might be ready to take a sample.
Okay.
He's got his vial out. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But he hasn't actually touched the tree yet.
Willow has a an at-will spell of Dancing Lights, where she can cast it. If we wanted to.
Let's say we wanted to see lower down in this well, or if it's even
I'm saying
of
the
interest.
view is obscured. You can see light. The light cannot penetrate it because it just looks so viney.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
It's
so
just
so
growth
dense.
coming out of this thing. You can't see
It's
into
so
it.
dense.
Yes.
Let's,
It's not
let's
necessarily.
move on.
It's not necessarily dense with the tree trunk. It's dense with viney,
Vine.
weedy. You can see the tree trunk. It definitely is the main feature coming out of this well, and it's just surrounded with these vines, like you see growing out.
These
throughout.
vines, are they similar to the ones that are in the pumpkin patch?
No.
Okay, got it. Just wanted to make sure.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Are they? Maybe.
In my head, I was kind of thinking that this place was a central source of the pumpkins, but
There is a
missed that.
source of magic here. We've seen. I mean, people with detect magic in their features, they've relayed to the party that there's magic here enchanting this place. So yes, the
Right.
same magic may be spread throughout the plants.
Okay, and Willow's picked up some kind of a magic here. So.
Yeah, kind of a chaotic nature magic.
When we were
It's a
in
nature
when we
magic.
when we were in this is backtracking a little bit, but when we were in that other room, did what we saw on the walls, did we see any text?
You saw some lightning bolts. You didn't see any text characters. You saw some crude stick figure drawing type art. You saw pigs. You saw lightning bolts.
Okay, got it.
You saw
Alright.
them chasing stick figure humanoids.
Okay, well, then let's make our way to the next room then.
Yeah, I guess there was another doorway out of this courtyard from the one we entered in.
Correct.
We just go to that one.
There was what now?
There was another doorway from this courtyard.
Yes,
that
you
we
see several doorways. You see 3 to be exact. There's two of them. There's one under the colonnade. There's one on the other side of the hearth, and then there's another one to the west of that. And the 2 that are on either side of the hearth, it's not the business side of the hearth, but you can tell that there's a hearth built into the wall there. The middle one and the eastern one have doors, and the third one, the door's been busted down.
I think I would just be naturally drawn towards the one busted down, just because it looked like there's a ruckus or something. If there was.
Myrin steps over a couple of vines and walks to the southwest corner of this room, and can see that inside the doorway to this room is dark.
I can't see.
It's got no natural light coming in.
But my dark vision cannot penetrate?
With your dark vision, you can see that what used to be some sort of laboratory lies in ruins there. You see its furnishings broken and heaped against the walls. And in the middle of the room, painted on the floor with mud, is a 10-foot wide symbol depicting 3 lightning bolts joined at their tips. Where the lightning bolts converge, a half-orc wearing hide armor performs an eerie dance while consuming the entrails of a dead possum. Standing around the half-orc are several small twig figures.
So this artwork that I'm seeing, if I'm seeing armor, I'm seeing some detailed artwork.
I gotta
here.
make you roll. For the religion for that.
I'd imagine. If I'm looking at it, I mean, I guess I'm the first one in, so.
You're the only one that's seeing this scene, but you
Mhm.
How do you react? For the first few seconds, you're going to notice these lightning bolt patterns, and you're going to roll me a check to see if you know what that is.
I will roll the check, but this is not my expertise, and so I would probably bring Willow and Nars over this way.
Yes, but in the split second when this is occurring, I want to see if you recognize it.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, is that just perception, or is this something?
Religion.
Something gonna fare well. 8.
Yeah, you don't recognize that symbol.
I don't think that I have a strong focus on religion.
You back up just a little bit, and you bump into Nars, who's behind you, trying to look over your shoulder. He's gonna see.
I would just by all means defend this.
Nars doesn't know what it means either. You turn around and you describe this lightning bolt pattern. It's 3 equidistant, like isosceles, equilateral triangle coming together in the center. Do either one of you want to try to identify that?
Willow, you want to check it out?
Yeah, would that be a religion check?
Yeah. It's our cleric.
I'm sorry, was that a yes or no?
Roll a religion check.
Okay. Right, I rolled a 17.
You recognize their description.
And +4.
You recognize that
So
they're describing the symbol of Talos, the evil god of storms.
Ooh, spooky.
And her religious learnings that she has done her entire life. She's read about the Pantheon and where the lightning bolts converge. That orc is most likely performing a ritual.
Oh. All right, I'll relay that all to the party.
You know, this is what happens when you give an evil individual the ability to cast a ritual. It's bound to be evil in nature.
I knew it was evil. I told you there was something strange about this place.
Yeah, if it gave me the creeps, there's something amiss.
They're sick.
So
Sick individuals.
as we're seeing this, I probably
You guys are discussing in whispered tones, sort of.
Yes.
Undercover
quiet,
on the other
but
side of this plant.
As this
Coming
is
out of the
happening,
well.
I'm actively looking up and around, almost with a cause for concern, and I just start to kind of scan the area.
I mean, you see what I've described to you before.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yep.
Searching this room. Is there anything else inside of it?
What room are you in? You're in the courtyard.
Well, I'm leaning over their shoulders.
You, with your dark vision, are you looking into the room where you see the same thing? They're doing a ritual inside.
All right.
It's one of these creatures like you saw the other day. Same form. That's what you see. I've got a graphic of it, maybe. Can I think I showed you the graphic of it in the Discord chat.
In Discord, yeah.
You see one of those characters with these twig blights around him.
Yeah. So I think that I would. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's something we're not seeing here. Whether it's inside or outside.
Help me figure out what you're looking for.
Stand by. I mean, I'm just...
You guys haven't interrupted him yet. He's still dancing and doing these rituals.
Wait, we're physically seeing this? I thought that this was like a painting that we were seeing.
No.
I'm very confused at
I'm
this
sorry.
point.
I'm sorry. I wasn't clear. When
No,
you
yeah, 'cause
initially
this whole time
when
I
you
was-
initially
I was-
looked in this room, the first thing that struck you was the artwork on the floor. This big
The
artwork on the
artwork,
floor.
yes.
And as your dark vision adjusts to the light, you see one of these half-orc spell-casting anchorites of Talos doing a ritual in the middle of this symbol of Talos in this room.
Yes, it's in the middle of the symbol. This makes more sense now, yeah.
The symbol is on the floor. I may have...
I thought this was that you were depicting the painting as well, like that
No.
depiction was in the painting. So
No,
I
actually
apologize.
physically seeing this dirty anchorite half-orc casting a ritual to Talos
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
next room.
So and I just kind of like immediately like peel back and also silently like gesture at everybody like with a whole to kind of like calm or like get everybody into like a stealth position, if you will. And I don't know if that's something that we may want to put a hold on now if per action passes.
What do you mean?
Well, since we're missing everybody else, I don't know.
Right, yeah. Check Discord.
Who are we missing?
Kiki.
Kiki.
She's gone?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
She sent a message on Discord.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So just since we don't have everybody else, I don't know if we want to continue. Like if maybe this could be at the point in which we pause the button, when I hold everybody before the moving into this creature. I don't want to I don't know.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to call it now?
I think, I'd rather us all be together.
Because I just feel like that we're reaching a point where we need some, everybody, the votes. Everybody needs to cast their vote.
Sounds good. We'll call it here.
Okay.
Love it. What a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger
Yeah.
ending.
It was a fun night.
Yeah, it was great.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
And this is a very intriguing
Can
house.
you set the scene like the ending scene, if you will?
Yeah. I can set the ending scene.
Just in general.
Just description-wise, what the party's
so like
doing,
where we will leave ourselves.
where we're gonna leave off. We'll
Yeah.
We've come precariously through this house and found a very clear message written with intimate fanfare to each one of the parties with these little twig blights. They're not
concerning.
They know exactly who you are.
Yeah, that's the. I didn't know we were even being watched.
They've been watching you, apparently.
First off, yeah.
And you've made your way into this house that contained a wizard, and that what made it into the interior of the house, into what once was a very nice courtyard with this flagged stone granite floor, big tiles, and this well that's been ruined by this evil using magic. It doesn't look, the plants just look gross, and you guys are huddled down on the other side of them, sort of in between this well with the gnarly, stumpy roots growing out of it into these gross tendrils of the tree. And on the other side of the room, there is a ritual to Talos taking place in a darkened room. and we'll have to wait till next week to find out what we do next.
Excelsior.